Good Wednesday morning. This is the Ohio AgNet, broadcasting from the Voice You Know with the News You Trust studio, sponsored by BASF and Valtima Fungicide, the proven #1 for the toughest corn diseases with long-lasting residual when you need to be confident your fungicide will perform. I'm Joel Norwood, taking a look at your farm news with you this morning. Quick couple of notes to pass along. Hard to believe June is just around the corner. And did you know that June is National Dairy Month? Celebrate with the American Dairy Association Mideast and learn more at drink-milk.com. Also, wake up, Ohio farmers, as Ohio's Country Journal is bringing the coffee to you. We're hitting the road and stopping at rural coffee shops, diners, and your favorite morning gathering spots across the state. When we show up, the first 25 folks through the door get a free cup of coffee, a limited edition Ohio's Country Journal mug, and the latest issue of Ohio's Country Journal, all on us. Want us to visit your hometown hangout? Head on over to ocj.com/coffee-shop and sign up your local spot today. Ohio's Country Journal, your source for Ohio farm news. Well, the latest crop progress numbers are out, delayed by one day because of Monday's Memorial Day. The Ohio Crop Progress Report is sponsored by Relentless Ag. Every acre at peak performance. Learn more at relentlessag.com. Ohio farmers made some planting progress this past week, though wet conditions continue to limit field work. USDA said there are 2.4 days suitable for field work for the week ending May 24th. Corn at 63% planted across the state, up from 52% the previous week, but still behind the 67% 5-year average. Corn emergence reached 45%, ahead of both last week's 27% and the 38% average. Soybeans, 57% planted across the state, up from 46% the week before, and just behind the 59% 5-year average. Soybean emergence at 38%, ahead of the 24% the week before, and the 29% average we're usually at. Winter wheat was 84% headed, well ahead of the 58% 5-year average, and wheat condition rated 68% good to excellent. 57% good and 11% excellent, and that's much, much better than the national average. Oats, 88% planted and 78% emerged, with 2% headed. Oat condition rated about 71% good to excellent. Soil moisture remains plentiful. Doesn't take a survey to find that out, but topsoil moisture at 52% adequate and 47% surplus. Subsoil moisture at 56% adequate, 29% surplus. Again, the Ohio Crop Progress Report is sponsored by Relentless Ag. More at relentlessag.com. And speaking of the weather, rainy overnight here at the broadcast studio. But what's the rest of the week hold? Let's check in with Ohio AgNet Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin, thanks to Seed Consultants.
Moisture continues to work north across Ohio here today. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Quick forecast update for you. I'm looking for scattered rain showers up to the US 30 corridor through the day today. I think we can see another quarter to 3/4 of an inch of precipitation. Might have to watch for some thunderstorms here this afternoon and early evening up near that US 30 corridor. North of US 30, though, yes, we see clouds, but I don't think there's a lot of moisture in the north. Drying down everywhere tomorrow with good sunshine, and we stay dry and warm through the balance of this week, the weekend, and through at least the first half of next week. May see a few hit-and-miss scattered showers trying to pop up Thursday night into early Friday morning in southwestern Ohio next week, but our next front probably doesn't come through until Friday night into Saturday. That front doesn't have a lot of moisture with it, but what it does signal is an end to this upper-level ridge and high-pressure dome that's giving us the warm, dry setup after today. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin.
Thanks, Ryan. Again, weather brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance. Online at seedconsultants.com. Let's check in with Joe Everett as he talks the Cattle on Feed report.
A bit of a surprise in the latest USDA Cattle on Feed report, as feedlot inventories actually moved higher. That marks the first year-over-year increase the cattle industry has seen in a year and a half, signaling a shift from the tighter numbers we've gotten used to lately. USDA says cattle and calves on feed for slaughter in feedlots with capacity of 1,000 head or more totaled 11.6 million head on May 1st. That's up 2% from a year ago and came in above what most analysts were expecting. The big reason for the increase was a jump in April placements. Producers placed about 1.7 million head into feedlots during the month, up 6% from last year. Analysts had actually expected placements to come in lower. Much of that increase appears tied to dry conditions across parts of the plains, which pushed more cattle into feedlots sooner than expected. At the same time, fed cattle marketings were down 10% from a year ago. Reporting for the Ohio AgNet, I'm Joe Everett.
Thank you, Joe. In other news today at OhioAgNet.com, we see the latest Ohio Field Leader Roadshow, where soil health and livestock go hand in hand at Margraf Family Farms. Plus, an economist chimes in and gives their perspective on data centers. And plus, the Growing Tomorrow grant is accepting applications. All that and much more at OhioAgNet.com. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more farm news coming up next.
Hi, I'm Tyler Miller, a soybean farmer from Crawford County. When I grow soybeans, I'm not just raising a crop, I'm creating fuel at home. Biodiesel adds nearly $2 to our bushel price and strengthens our energy independence. If you're not using biodiesel on your farm, now's the time. If you're not sure how to get it, ask your local fuel supplier. Ready to turn last year's crop into this year's fuel? Learn more at soyohio.org.
This message is brought to you by Ohio soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Be aware, ticks are there. As you head outdoors, remember to avoid tall grass, wear light-colored full-coverage clothing, and use EPA-registered repellent. Be sure to thoroughly check for ticks after you head in for the day. If you find any ticks, remove them carefully with tweezers and watch for symptoms such as fever, headache, or rash. For more information on ticks and tick bite prevention, head over to ohio.gov/ticks.
Your news and information continues. Brianna Smith checks in talking mental health.
Joining me today is Jamie Delafield. She's a family and consumer sciences educator and part of Ohio State University Extension's Farm Stress team. Jamie, can you tell me a little bit more about the purpose of Ohio State Extension's Rural and Farm Stress program?
So our role in the Farm Stress team area is to bring research and evidence-based information that is gathered through the Ohio Department of Behavioral Health to our farmers and individuals in rural communities within Ohio. So our Farm Stress team works alongside the Ohio Department of Agriculture, Ohio Farm Bureau. We work with the commodity groups. There is a wonderful alliance of individuals who meet on a regular basis who are doing their best to get information out into our communities, to let our farmers and our agriculture producers know that sometimes it's okay to not be okay. And so we at Ohio State play an integral role in that by helping, again, get the information to the people.
What resources exist to help farmers or those who work in the agriculture space with their mental health today?
So the first place that we would want you to go is the website that we have developed. It is u.osu.edu/farmstress. That is a collection of many different trainings and resources for you. There is a link on that page about Farm Stress Certified Training. There is a link on that page to a directory that we were able to develop with the College of Public Health that will help you county specific find a mental health professional who can provide you treatment if needed in your community. It also provides local numbers for crisis lines. We do want to say that at any point, a crisis line is always 988, which is the National Suicide Lifeline, or you can text help or home to 741-741, which is the crisis text line. So those are the places that we would say first go for help, right? So the 988 and the 741-741 are going to connect you with a licensed counselor right away. No waiting time at all. And then the u.osu.edu Farm Stress website is going to help you dig a little deeper to all sorts of things that you might need. It's our clearinghouse per se. We also, within OSU Extension, partner with our local mental health and recovery services boards. We have individuals who are trained in a couple of different trainings. One is mental health first aid, and there are 3 different versions of mental health first aid. One is for individuals who work with adults. One is called youth mental health first aid. That's for individuals who work with young people. So if you work with anybody from little to 18. And then the last one, which happens to be one of my favorites, is teen mental health first aid. And we work with 10th through 12th graders to help them learn about the signs and symptoms if their friend might be experiencing a mental health problem so that they can then connect them with a trusted adult. And then lastly, my colleague Amanda Rains, who's the 4-H educator in Hardin County, we were lucky to co-author 2 mental health 4-H project books. And one is called Your Feelings Matter. The other is called Your Thoughts Matter, Navigating Mental Health. These can be picked up at your local extension office. So if you are wanting to begin conversations in your home with your young people about mental health and all of the things that go along with your emotions and stress and life, and what does anxiety look like, or let's talk about media, those two books are a great place to start.
Thank you, Jamie. While we may be coming to the close here of Mental Health Awareness Month, it is always important to remember that there are resources and people available to help. Reporting for Ohio's Country Journal and Ohio AgNet, I'm Brianna Smith.
Thank you, Brianna. In other news this morning, we're talking the Dairy Margin Coverage Program. It's a farm safety net that helps U.S. dairy farmers manage risk when the gap between milk prices and the cost of feed shrinks. Danny Munch, an economist with the American Farm Bureau Federation, says the Dairy Margin Coverage Program has been a big help to dairy farmers.
Farmers choose a coverage level at 50-cent increments up to $9.50, and the program will pay out to farmers when the national dairy margin falls below the selected level they chose. There's currently a 6 million pound production cap under the more affordable Tier 1 level, and really it's the best safety net out there for dairy producers to protect their margins.
But Munch says that recent years have highlighted limits in the program's effectiveness because it only covers milk prices against feed costs, which does not account for other input costs, which are changing in today's day and age.
Labor, fuel, veterinary costs, and equipment, which combined have risen over 21% in the last 5 years. So in recent months, particularly in the second half of 2025, when feed costs were low, but these other costs were high, the program did not trigger, even though many dairies were unable to cover costs.
Again, Danny Munch, an economist with the American Farm Bureau Federation, giving their perspective on some gaps in the dairy margin coverage program in the 2026 day and age. Stay tuned. We'll be taking a look at market numbers coming up next. Let's jump into markets right after this on the Ohio AgNet.
Looking for heavy equipment but don't know where to buy? Purple Wave Auction has you covered. Always online and always no reserve. It's your destination for construction or ag equipment ready to work. We even sell semis, trailers, and fleet equipment for your operation. Best part? It's free to join. Head to purplewave.com. That's purplewave.com. Sign up for a free account and start bidding today. Purple Wave Auction, the easiest and most straightforward way to buy and sell equipment.
Are you looking for the latest in Ohio agriculture? Well, you can get it all in one place. The Ohio AgNet Podcast. Join us as we sit down with farmers, experts, and ag leaders from across the Buckeye State. From the latest news to interviews that matter, we're here to keep you informed and connected. Whether you're in the tractor, the truck, or the shop, we bring the conversation to you. Search Ohio AgNet Podcast on your favorite app or find it on Facebook or YouTube. Don't miss a minute of the Ohio AgNet Podcast. Subscribe today.
Today's market analysis is brought to you by the Louis Dreyfus Company. Excited to bring a brand new soybean crush facility to Upper Sandusky, Ohio. Learn more about marketing your soybeans with LDC at 574-566-2113. Ryan Martin.
Grain markets finished mostly lower yesterday. As we take a look at the numbers, corn down 4 to 6, beans down 7 to 10, wheat in Chicago down 8 to 11. Kansas City wheat was about 2 to 6 lower, but spring wheat in Minneapolis was stronger. Bean oil was up as well. Modest volume is what they called it yesterday, as the energy markets kind of set the stage. One surprising aspect of yesterday's trade was the volume. Very few seemed willing to press the short side, knowing that Iran is stringing out negotiations before hitting a negotiation wall. The last U.S.-Iran nuclear negotiations that happened during the Obama administration took nearly a year, and it's doubtful that this administration has much patience. And Trump actually said over the weekend that the U.S. military is going to assist dozens of vessels passing through the Strait of Hormuz. The strait may or may not be open, depending on who you listen to. Energy markets think it's opening, but that'll be the big story in the weeks to come. I'm Ryan Martin.
Thank you, Ryan. Let's turn the page to see how markets have shaped up overnight in Chicago. July corn down 2 cents to $4.55.5, while new crop corn sitting down 2 pennies as well. $4.80 per bushel is their price. July soybeans at $11.85, down a cent, while new crop beans are off the same to $11.79 and July wheat down 8 1/4 to $6.27 1/4 per bushel. Markets brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance. Online at seedconsultants.com. June live cattle down $1.08 to $248.23 as we look back to their Tuesday closing market number. September feeder cattle gained 13 cents on the day to $347.03, a very modest gain compared to their recent ups. June lean hogs up 38 cents to 96.13, but July hogs down 28 cents to $100.13. Milk up about 11 cents across the board. June class 3 sitting at a price of $16.71. You can find more farm news online at ohioagdat.com. I'm Joel Penordwood. Thanks for tuning in to the Ohio AgDat.